wanted to show you the progress of my first really major top work project. And it's this tree, which is a Haden. And as you might recall from previous videos, this tree had gotten rather big. Even though we kept trimming it, had the tree trimmers come in because it was too big for us to trim. Even though we had it trimmed, a major branch was blown into the power lines, which you might be able to see there behind the tree, in June of 2016. And the tree trimmer guys that work for the electric company came out and in the middle of the night in the rain trimmed all of the stuff that was in danger of falling into the lines. So all of the stuff on the south side of this tree. And I wanted to make this tree a different size and a whole different kind of tree. Every 5 years or so we were fighting the battle of the south side of the tree is always the strongest and it would be growing into the power lines. We had to do something about it, and so it's just this endless cycle of trimming it back from the power lines. So anyway, what I did was get the tree trimmers in and cut the rest of the tree way back. And with older wood, it takes a long time for new buds to form. If you have a very young tree and you cut it back, it's like no big deal. Another month or in a month or two, you boom, get a little bud and a shoot, and it starts recovering very quickly. Not the case with this big stuff. You get large branches with thick bark, and it takes a while before you get a new branch. What I was looking for was new growth to graft onto. So I had to be patient, and as you might suspect, patience is not one of my strengths. So anyway, it was probably August before the first opportunity to graft onto this tree occurred, and my initial thought was graft dwarf varieties on the south side of the tree. And so here is this branch over here. It was one of the first ones I did. That was sort of step 2. The step 1 we can look at in a second, but that's all Julie over there. And the interesting thing I think about this is every branch end has a bloom spike, and they all look healthy. It's gorgeous, and it really is surprising to me because when Hurricane Irma came, of course there was a lot of labor in the multiple grafts that I did on that particular branch, and I didn't want to lose them to the hurricane. So I actually cut off 2 growth flushes. And a lot of times when you trim that hard in, like late season trimming, it doesn't recover enough to flower, and apparently, yay Julie, it did. So that is a wonderful part of this tree, but there are lots of wonderful parts. So as I said, this was my first major top work project, and I knew I wanted dwarf varieties on the south side of the tree and Julie on this one lower branch, but then I wanted to make it a variety tree for several reasons. I thought it'd be fun, and then of course I wanted to put varieties that I didn't have in the grove onto a big rootstock, and things that you get to take successfully on a tree this size tend to grow quickly. Here are some of the varieties that I put on. Right here is Angie, and its flowers were a little bit later than Julie flowers. Julie was the first, but Angie is, looking darn good right now. And we have another branch here. That's one of the later ones that I actually grafted, top worked, and that is Honey Kiss. So this branch right here is Cotton Candy, and it actually doesn't show any flowers at the moment. I suspect it's because I've used this for graft wood. It's just a small part of the tree, and I wanted to put cotton candy on another tree also, and so I was harvesting graft wood a lot from this particular branch. This one is K3, or what they call Kathy, and lots of flowers there also. So right in this area I have a pettigrew here, and Jahenger there, and this area is not flowering at all. Now there could be two reasons for that. One is that it might not be getting enough sun, but another reason is, that hurricane that came through really hit this side of the tree. This was, the part that was just really hammered. I had to take out a lot of branches that were broken from this, and so that might be the reason that this is not flowering at the moment. So this was my very first really big topwork project. I really hadn't even envisioned this kind of a project before the storm came, and then one thought led to the next, and all of a sudden we have this tree that has so much potential. I find it very interesting having the different varieties on this tree, and I'm really looking forward to the fruit. It established very quickly, and this is after cutting it back for the hurricane and then cutting out the damage. It still looks like a fairly normal tree, even though all of the green that you see is not Haden. Everything you see is grafted varieties on it. So anyway, if you have a tree that you don't love, consider top working it. It really can make it more interesting. And we have a whole lot of videos showing the progress and showing techniques on how to do it, so check those out.